I was taught at home that gay is a sin, and not just a sin. I was taught I must get married with a woman because that is the natural nature of life. I was born in Joburg, in the Janssen Hospital. Grew up about until the age of 2 in Joburg. Then we moved to Durban. I spent about 2 years between my mother and father. They got divorced. So after that, I ended up in the children's home, like most kids do, divorced parents. My mother couldn't afford to look after us. We were 3 boys, so we grew up in the children's home. I was in Verda Hoërskool, so it was actually much fun. It wasn't really any judgment against the gay community in the children's home because we were all like castaways. We would say we were castaways because we didn't have parents. I can classify myself as a normal, down-to-earth gay person. How can I say it? I'm queenish. Sometimes a diva in a way, overacting.
Pieter is not a person that can harm a fly. He's like, what you see is what you get with him. He's not going to make himself feel uncomfortable just to suit you.
My age when I really realized that I was gay, I was 6 years old. 6 years old. I started playing with dolls, I was hanging out with girls, just being myself. It felt normal to me to have feelings towards guys.
It will vary as often. Some people experience it much later on. So I think there's always those kind of intuitive feelings that one harbors around it. Actually, I'm not quite the same. I don't experience things the same as my peers or my sisters and brothers.
I always got judged for it because I was openly about it from a young age. So people always told me that it's wrong what I'm doing when I was a child. It's why don't I like women and stuff like that. But I guess at the point, I didn't know myself because I was young. Every person is young, every person grows into the person they're supposed to be.
He's very comfortable with himself. He is not in denial of who he is, for one. He accepted himself.
I was more comfortable around girls. If I came across a guy and a guy would come to me and talk to me, I would actually start shaking, be very nervous. I would actually be very threatened in a way. Because sometimes it's a guy that I like or it's someone that just, maybe if it's blue eyes, I had a thing for a blue-eyed boy. So if they have blue eyes, I would be shy about it. But yeah, it was not knowing. It felt normal to me to have feelings towards guys.
Be a source of strength to those around you, especially when that is his life that he chose to live. It's his life. I can't do anything about it. He's been like that, I don't know for how many years. So, what must I do now? Try and make magic and say, Pieter, whoop, there you are, boy. No, leave him like that. He's fine. I actually enjoy him like that.
So when I guess I was 10 years old when I really started liking this guy in the children's home. But he was much too old for me, but it's always that case. Someone that has that special place in your heart.
When puberty sets on, when it becomes very clear that actually I'm attracted to boys or I'm attracted to girls or I'm attracted to both girls and boys as a situation may happen. And then I think that's when the turmoil really becomes very undeniable about then the social norms and one's sexual identity, which does not fit into one thing or the other.
At the age of 14, moving in with my mother, she started experiencing the gay side of her son. But I started experimenting when I was more a bit older, about around 16. Around 16, I started like the dating scene. I went more out with my mother because my mother's a proud, married lesbian. So she's very acceptable about it. Okay, some days she wished I was straight. She wants grandkids, mostly. It's actually kind of fun. My brother was at the stage as well where he was confused between the sexuality parts of being a bisexual or being a straight person. So he taught me a bit of something that I needed to know. So he was mostly my father figure in my life, my oldest brother.
He's not having an identity crisis, or he's not blaming himself for what he's going through or the situation that he's in. He made peace with it a long time ago. So for me to say Pieter is going through no.
I've basically learned, to be gay, it's not about the hand gesture, it's not about shaking the bum or trying to be something you're not in a way. I'm not trying to be a woman. I'm just trying to be me as a gay person in South Africa, in the society I am classed in.
The onset of puberty is precisely also the beginning of that clear formation of identity up until, early 20s. One is going through these various stages when it's forming social identity, your personal identity, your sexual identity. So it's not a crisis, I think, of identity, but identities, I would imagine, because even if you take a heterosexual being, they too go through a range of emotions and crises and confusions and working out exactly who they are, what they feel, how they desire, and so on and so forth.
About 2 years back, I was with a group of friends, and we were sitting around the table and we had a discussion, and I always said, yeah, I want to go for a sex change, because I felt like I was in the wrong body in a way of, because my femininity was so broadcast. I wore clothes. I was a drag queen, like a proper drag queen.
Now, for somebody who's transgendered or homosexual in any other way, though you can imagine that those emotions are just compounded, and that it must take them, much longer and even much harder work to work through the sense of what am I, who am I, and why am I feeling this way.
Luckily, I didn't make the choice then to do it. I accepted my body in a way that if I had to change it, I'd probably feel uncomfortable every day, knowing I'm getting up, I had a sex change, I'm going to get judged again, or I'm going into a relationship with a lie, or the guy's not going to accept me because I had a sex change. A lot of times, a lot of people do accept it, depending on how people feel about it. It's always about how people feel about it, as the topic is always, am I going to get judged? And my friend told me the day that we spoke about it, he told me, if you go for the sex change, remember the gay society is just as brutal about it. They are brutal about it, because you create it. How many people say it's, you're born the way you're born. And I feel like I was taught about it. God made you in the way and in the image that He wanted you to be. I haven't spoken to my father for about 6 years now. And it's hard growing up without a father when I was a child. But I guess in a sense of a way, we need someone to be there for us.
The children are gay. It's painful, yes. But the quicker you learn to accept it and make peace with it, the better for you and your life. So
the reason he disowned me is because my mother left him as well for another woman. So for a man, that's also not degrading, you just lose that thing about yourself as a man, I guess, in a way.
You must just remember of what hardship that child has to go through to gain your acceptance, because there are so many people that need in life that want to be accepted by family, of which they are getting rejected from, and families don't know how much hurt that they're causing the people.
Till today, it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. Not being accepted by my own father, but at least I have two mothers that love and adore me for who I am and accepts me. If you have that, at least you have something. My oldest brother is very accepting of me. My youngest brother as well.
People even families, they're judging each other in accordance to what the community will say. People must stop looking at the community, because the community is not the one. Okay, to raise a child, it takes a village. But sometimes, as parents, we need to look within ourselves and don't blame yourself for what you've done wrong. How did this happen? Stop asking yourself questions.
It's not going to hurt that much anymore. Because the more you linger onto that anger, it eventually warns you out. If you don't accept to move on, you're never going to go forward. It's always going to keep you back, especially the anger of not being accepted by someone in your family. But my two stepsisters and my stepbrother, they accept me for who I am. So, and they're from my father's side. It's only my father and my father's family's side that doesn't accept it. So they said because they have a young grandson, they don't want me in the house because they might be scared that I might rape her. Why will I rape a young boy if I was raped as a young boy myself? Why would you put that through someone so dear to you as a family member if you've been through it as well? A lot of people aren't acceptable about their kids. That's why I guess a lot of kids are scared to come out about their sexuality, and especially bisexuals or gay closets. It's always the case of being rejected, being outcast, especially in schools. I had a very hard time in high school. When I moved to my mom, I was pulled out of school because of sexual verbal abuse and sexual harassment. I got to a point that I couldn't even sit in the class. It got very bad.
The way this person feels and experiences the world is unchosen, just like I didn't choose. It's kind of that accident of birth.
The gay society has a little bit of a down push because you're gay. People are scared of gay people for some reason.
It's a matter of which one of these the world or society we live in values, and which one is taken as normal and abnormal. And then beginning to understand that the problems that emerge for this person is precisely the way we've constructed society.
I don't see why the people discriminate against them. They are also human beings. Just like husband and wife, they prefer to be with their same sex. My actual thing is, some people can't accept them.
We know what we're going through, and we each know how it does feel to be pushed into a corner or judged by people because of our sexuality. It's always been a topic. It's always been a topic.
And therefore that one stands, let's say in this instance, me as a heterosexual person, that I too, in a sense, could have lived in a world that valorized and normalized transgendered people, and I may very well be feeling the same way as this person might be.
I was raped 2 years ago, and it was hard. I have a lot of friends that died because of their sexuality around me. About 2 years ago, my mom actually phoned me and told me that my friend was murdered. He was, how can I say, studying to become a lawyer. And he was walking home from his friend's place, his partner's place, when he was murdered. A lot of the topic does go around, was it about his sexuality, or was it just because they wanted to grab his laptop or something like that, but they didn't find anything missing on him. Most people say gay is a sin. I can't say it isn't, and I can't say it is. But for me, it's just people need to get along. If we all get along with our race, why can't we get along about our sexuality?
If we were to prioritize humane and creating a humane world to live in, all things become possible then.
A lot of people ask, why are we gay? It's not a reason why. Why are you straight? You don't have an answer for it. There's no answer for being straight, there's no answer for being gay. That's what I think about it. I think it's something that you're born with. It's not something that it is a choice that you make.
In life, there are certain people that is born with the hormone problem. I would rather say he's a female trapped in a man's body.
I guess each gay person has their own way of telling their own story and saying what gay stands for. But in the dictionary, it's classed as a handskoen. Afrikaans people would say handskoen. The fashionable handskoen in the 80s and 70s, it was called. So don't say to someone, oh, that person is gay, or ustabani, or morphi, or faggot is most words, faggots, or a queer, people will call the gay societies, or a lesbian or a lesbian, or it's not nice to be called those words, especially in public.
One can be empathic, one can suspend one's prejudices and biases and this kind of narcissistic self-interest, narrow thinking, it's about me, me, me. If we can get to a point where we can suspend that and think, you know what, I have no idea what this person is going through. How can I at least listen to what he or she is going through?
We don't judge. We just want to have fun. We want to be out there showing who we are and being the creative person we are as a gay person.
And through that, perhaps, how can I be supportive? In what ways can I be supportive to this person? But that already presupposes that I already recognize the other as one human as I am, and also as equally a sexual being as I am.
For myself, to know myself, I had to accept myself for who I am. I'm gay, proud, openly about it, very naughty some days, and very behaving in some days.
He's got a positive attitude. He's very positive in life. And just for the mere fact that some things happen to him, but he still managed to get out and show the world and lift his chin up that I can be a better person.
I'm happy with who I am. And I'm not going to settle for second best because someone can't accept me for me.